Okay, so today we're going to practice our fluency. And you remember what fluency is?
Yes.
Okay, so what is fluency?
Fluency is so we don't talk like a robot.
Yeah, when we read, we want to talk normally. We want to sound normally. So fluency is like how quickly we read. We're not reading too slow. How accurately we're reading. So making sure that we get those words right. And then reading with like expression. So we're not reading like the dog went to the park. You know, we want to make sure it flows and sounds a lot more like when we're talking. The dog went to the park.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, and I think you've played this game before, so I'm going to take a card and read it, and if I can read it fluently, then I'll get to keep it, and then you're going to do the same thing. And whoever has the most cards at the end wins. Okay. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday.
Jolly juggling jester janted juggling jingling jacks.
Okay. You should keep that, yeah. The sixth sheep's sick. Okay, I want to put that one.
A sailor went to see what he could see, and all he could see was see.
Nice. Return a card.
Baboon, bamboo, bamboo. Oh, I messed up. Bamboo, baboon, bamboo.
Okay, I did notice though before you started reading it that you took a second because you saw that those words were really similar, the way that they looked, and you made sure that you knew the difference between those two words, which helps with your accuracy, right? I got another boo-hoo card, which means I don't get a turn again.
Okay. Bubble, bobble, bubble, bobble, bubble, bubble.
Right. Now that you know all those words, why don't you say it again and see if you can make it sound a little bit more natural.
Bubble, bobble, bubble, bobble, bubble, bobble.
Great. All right. Two tipping tulips. I think I got that one.
Okay.
Oh, you got a boo-hoo card. You got to return one? All right. A good cook could cook as much cookies as a good cook who could cook cookies. What do you think? Does that sound okay? Okay.
Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Great. Okay, so let's see how many cards we have. I only have 2.
I have 3.
Okay, so I think you won that round. Let's try something else. That was our little game, and now let's get into actually reading some text. So before, what we're gonna do is we're gonna read Race to the Moon, which is about space. You like space, right?
Yes.
Okay. So before we do that, let's go through our fluency checklist just to remind ourselves of all of the things that we want to do while we read.
Okay.
So when we're reading fluently, we're reading in large phrases. Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay, so this first sentence, in October 1958, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration was formed. So that was two phrases, because I read the first part and there was a comma, and then that second part. So because I was able to read that whole thing together in like one fell swoop, that is a large phrase. Instead of reading it like in October 1959, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration was formed. That's like really choppy, you know? So when we read in large phrases, it all goes together. Most of the story is read with expression, so we talked about that. And then they read smoothly, okay? So not that like choppy, monotone, it all goes together kind of, okay? So let's try it.
In October 1958, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration (NASA) were formed. They immediately began working on options for human space flight. This was called Project Mercury.
Okay, I'm going to stop you. I noticed that you said the immediately, and you knew right away that wasn't right, and you went back and you said they. So that was the first time reading through it. There are a lot of juicy words in there, so it didn't sound as smoothly as it could because we're getting introduced to some of those new words like aeronautics. So now that you know what words are in there, let's try that again and see if we can read it more fluently.
Okay. In October 1958, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, was formed. They immediately began working on options for human space flight. This was called Project Mercury.
I noticed too that last part, this was called Project Mercury. That's like that kind of expression that we're talking about and that we want to include into our reading. Okay, Bella, you can stop it.
Okay.